Hello everyone, I am going to share with you how to make this homemade Zuppa Toscana soup. It is an absolute family favorite. It is very low in cost and it is a lot of servings. So here's what you need. You need potatoes. You also need some garlic, some Parmesan cheese, some whipping cream, and some chicken broth. I use chicken bouillon cubes. Also a whole onion, Italian sausage in mild or hot, and some kale or spinach. So you want to take your hot pot and start to add your Italian sausage to it. You want to get that to a nice consistency where there is no pink showing. So do that. This should take you about 10 minutes. Once your Italian sausage is cooked thoroughly, go ahead and drain it and bring the pot back to the stove so that we can start frying our bacon. A lot of people cut the bacon up ahead of time and do the little crispy bits, but I like to do mine in strips. It's easier to remove when it's complete, and I like it better that way. So fry the bacon whichever way you see fit, and then we're going to remove it from the pot and go to the next step. Make sure that you get your bacon nice and crispy without burning it, because nothing tastes worse than burnt bacon in soup. All right, so once you get that all crispy, take that out and leave a little bit, maybe 2 tablespoons for the onions. So while that was cooking, I went ahead and started dicing my onion. I took 1 whole onion, of course, peel the outer shell. You guys know how to do that. And chop it into small minced bits. So I just slice it and then I turn it 90 degrees and then dice it the opposite way. So you're going to add this, and then we're going to go ahead and get the garlic in there. I put my onion aside for now, and I'm going to go ahead and start prepping my garlic. My family loves garlic, so I use a lot of cloves here, but I just peel them and then I smash them with the back side of my knife, and then I try to mince those as finely as possible. One thing I don't take a shortcut on is the onion and the garlic, because I do love the fresh taste of those, but you know, there are companies that have minced garlic in a jar, and they always have sliced onions as well too. But I went ahead and just minced these up as small as possible. I added them to the onion bowl so we can add them to the Dutch oven. So we're going to go ahead and add the minced onion and garlic to the Dutch oven, where there are reserved bacon grease drippings in there. And then we want to get these to be to a translucent color. So don't fry them, but just get them to where they're nice and soft and translucent. And depending on how high your heat is, this should take about 2 to 5 minutes at the most. So I'm a huge multitasker. So while those onions are cooking, I am going to start prepping these potatoes, and I wanted to share with you the thickness of the slices. They're about 1/4 inch, maybe a tiny bit smaller, but I don't want them to be too skinny that they melt while they're cooking in or simmering in the Dutch oven, and I don't want them to be too thick so that they take so long to cook out. So about this thickness is what we're looking for, and you can always prep all of these items before you even start cooking. You can cut the onions and the garlic and the potatoes and the kale all down, but I like to, when I start, I just do them all at the same time. I just multitask and get it all done. So this is what we're doing. I used, I think, 5 potatoes, but the exact recipe will be in the description box below. Once you get the onion and garlic mixture to the consistency that we want to go ahead and add those 8 cups of chicken broth. Now you can use homemade chicken broth, boxed chicken broth, canned chicken broth. I like using these chicken bouillon cubes because they add a nice flavor and the element of salt, and I love it. So, and plus I can keep them in my cabinet without them going bad. and you want to go ahead and give that a quick stir. And then the next thing you want to do is add those bacon bits that you have earlier. I just crumble them up in my hand and I throw them into the pot. See, so much easier than dicing them all up, I think. After you've reached a boiling point for that, which should take just a couple minutes, go ahead and add the potatoes to the mixture. So we want to let the potatoes get a head start on everything else. So depending on how thick you chop your potatoes, you see the thickness of mine. I let them boil for about 10 minutes. That's all it took. And I stirred it up and then I just let it cook for 10 minutes, and then we're ready to add the rest of the ingredients after. So the potatoes have been cooking for about 10 minutes and that's all we needed. It's halfway done. So we want to go ahead and start adding our bunches of kale. My family loves kale, so I think I used about 4 to 5 handfuls of this. But if you're using spinach, of course, you'll need to do this at the very end. Spinach does not take but maybe 3 or 4 minutes before it starts to wilt into nothing. So I like using the kale. It adds a better nutrient. It is more sturdy or hardy for this dish, and it can hold up with the potatoes and everything. So I think kale is the best option, but of course you could use spinach if you like. So after I mix that in gently, because I don't want my potatoes to crush while they're in there, I just kind of poke it. And I'm using a bagged kale because there was no fresh kale at the store where I went. But you want to make sure that you get out all the little stalks out of there that you don't want. So now it's time to add the remainder of the ingredients, and then we're done. These items will simmer for the next 10 minutes and you are able to enjoy your soup shortly. So I'm reintroducing the Italian sausage that had been setting aside in the draining bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and add the 1 cup or 8 ounces of heavy whipping cream. This is very important. It makes that consistency that we all know and love. And then I'm going to add my red pepper flakes, a dash of pepper, and a tiny bit of kosher salt. And like I mentioned earlier, the chicken broth or the chicken bouillon cubes has enough salt in it for this dish, but I like to add a tiny bit of sea salt after I've added that kale, just to make sure that the flavors all incorporate and that we're not missing. And when I say tiny, I literally mean a pinch. So once you've added all those ingredients, let this simmer in the pot for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to top it off and be done. Alright guys, my soup has been simmering for about 10 minutes. It is time to take it off and plate it, and I top it off with some Parmesan cheese and a little bit of those red pepper flakes for some added heat. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much for watching my video, and I will have more videos in the near future because I like to cook and my family has to eat. So this is the final product, and it was yummy and tasting. Everyone was full, and it feeds a lot of people. I think at least 6 servings, 6 healthy servings. So like the video if you like it, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.